betwixt the raising of the undying emperor and the great planar war that shook the heavens, there was an age of contradiction, where cannons won kingdoms and muskets kept the peace. A brave few won the hearts of the conquered and conquerors alike. Of these we speak of the decline of the great kingdoms and cultures under the heel of empire. Of those we speak of gladiators and the untold thousands that worshipped them. Of this, an age of glory, where kings would be slaves and a gladiator would be king.
Yeah, I'm just gonna play some video games while I eat my dinner while I run some D&D. No big deal. Good afternoon and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Dread and Circus campaign episode 37. I'm your DM and host Marty, joined by Adam, Ahmed, and Mark. How's it going, everyone? I'm gonna unmute the mics so that the player conversation can turn into the game table conversation. Look at that! Looky. How is everyone?
And that's why I hate you, Ahmed.
And it's like, oh.
Well, the timing on that was perfect.
Apparently, I have to police that conversation too.
Weird. I am tired. I was in San Francisco for a meeting with work stuff, and we had a flat tire on the way back. So in the middle of like rush hour traffic in California, we're like, oh, we need all right.
Tired, lose another limb. That was Arlen when he was fasting.
Wait, were all of you compromised in your mental faculties when your characters have lost? The stream is going. Stream is going? Yes?
Stream's going.
The stream is not going.
The stream is going.
It's running beautifully for me.
Yeah, I can see it too.
I'm not going to name the specific hotel, but the 280, 250 US a night hotel room that I'm in, I have to basically put quarters in a little machine for the internet to work. So there was a hiccup there. I had to put more quarters in the internet router.
You're parking.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Oh my god.
Your browser parking?
Yeah, the browser parking. I had to go give it my credit card information to open up the internet again because.
Well, we'll just take that information right now. Go ahead.
I just gotta check.
We're just gonna activate your IP address, sir.
We're all trustworthy here.
1, 2, 3, go fuck yourself.
Okay,
all right.
Just gonna check on my phone. Be right back.
Oh.
What's the IP address on
You're burning your spaghetti, Mark.
Burnt spaghetti is when you burn the sauce.
Don't burn it. Just keep tossing it.
Stirring.
Ahmed is a cook. Ahmed is a chef.
Tossing the Getty by Ahmed. Hey, we're gonna toss some
Cooking 101.
Getty.
Whether you're feeding kids or your parents-in-law, doesn't matter. I got you covered, fishies.
I just picture like sippy cups in front of the old people and sippy cups in front of the young people.
Yeah, they're useless. Look at them.
Sippy cups everywhere.
SpongeBob SquarePants bowl.
All right, why don't we do a recap of what happened last game, given that it looks like it's going to be one of those.
My hand fell off.
Yeah, game 35, which was 2 games ago. We alternate between the Road of Sorrow gladiators that call themselves the Circus of Dread and the Masters of the Conclave of Crimson Scales in Vatapole. So we are playing the the Circus of Dread tonight. So last game was with these characters was game 35. It was called Unarmed Attacks.
But
At Fallenstone, Gan Bloodhorn challenges Sam to a rematch, incensed at his loss. Roger, Edward, and Widget bribe some soldiers to steal a peek at the Shadowkin menace that has the Imperial soldiers concerned, and that Mortenzi will face in the arena. Mortenzi grows suspicious of the behavior of his fellow gladiators towards their master. Arlen speaks to a goblin about rumors of a coming shadow. The matches at the Pit of the Stone Bear take a foul turn. I think that was the liner notes without giving too much away. Sam lost to Gan Bloodhorn, and in doing so, lost his left arm from the elbow down. The detached appendage is now a trophy of Gan Bloodhorn. And
I very much blame the Modron on that, because I got no luck in those rolls. Absolutely none.
And then, Modron was unkind, as the dice sometimes are. Sam was rushed back to the Half Tower Inn and Tavern where the circus was staying. He did survive the system shock roll that he needed to make because he had lost a limb, and Arlen was able to, with help from others, heal the stump. At this point, Ratimer knew that he had lost a considerable amount of coin on the bet with Sam. While he might not be bankrupt, he does have to feed, equip, and train the group of gladiators so that they get better, so that they win more money. The loss against Gan seemed to disturb Ratimer quite greatly.
He is a horrible bettor.
Yeah, given that Mortenzi did win against the Shadow thing, he made some money, but he also lost some money in the fight against Gan.
Yeah, we gotta talk to this guy. God damn it, dude! What's wrong with you?
That he bet on your gladiator? Well, you can go talk to him if you want. He is.
No, how did we lose money by winning and lose? Like we won and lost, and then we won and lost.
What I'm saying is he still has expenses. He's running the caravan. He's equipping you. He's paying for all of your inn and food expenses for the time you're staying there. And a number of you leveled up. I'm assuming you want him to pay for your training.
Wait, this hand. There we go.
Okay. So
I can't do that.
So that starts to probably eat into the delta between the win against the Shadow thing and the loss of Sam.
We basically broke even with the betting, right? I'm assuming
We should have been ahead on the betting, but still we had expenses, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and Ratimer when he came here had mentioned several times that we were getting low on funds.
No,
and the less funds he has available, the less he can bet. So this is sort of this is not a winning formula in the long term.
The one that was bad was when it was when Sam beat the guy and who was supposed to beat three of us. That was the one where it's like, how did we not make money? This was like a $1 million shot.
He
not
might
me at all.
he has no ranks in managing any sort of business or enterprise. He's making just plain old int and wisdom checks. And when you throw in the vagaries of D20s into the mix of stat bonuses, you can end up with a wide variance. So, Ratimer seems quite upset and isn't talking to you guys after that fight. It is the next day, and it appears that some of the servants are preparing for the caravan to leave. Well, you have not received word directly from Ratimer yet. You just get the sense that Fallenstone may be this may be your last day or so in Fallenstone. The guys who did level, hey Foxfire, have not trained yet, but I'll let you guys have your hit dice and your hit points. That's something you may want to bring up. And I believe the people that did level were Arlen,
I think it was Arland,
Edward, and Roger are all now 6th. Ugg, of course, is still at 6th. Barak Tarn is still at 4th. Mortenzi, Wilbur, and Sam are all hovering at 5th.
Yeah.
So it was some of the guys that were rolled a level ahead, basically, of everyone else. So Arlen, Ugg, and Edward need some training, although this may not be the best time to ask your master for it, or maybe you require putting forward the charismatic guy, Arlen, to go talk to Radimer.
Yep.
Sam is cropped up at a table. He had 52 damage. I don't know if there's any healing. I guess you.
Who is
Sam?
Sam. Yeah.
Sam was basically at negative his con subtract 1 or +1, and then heal spells.
Arlen shouldn't have a hard time healing him up.
Okay, you've got enough healing to heal.
Yeah, I've got tons of healing.
It would have been 57 plus 15, so 72 damage.
All right, give me a minute.
And you already used some of your channels and healing just on the surgery. We'll say you used, I don't know, D3 Cure Light Wounds. You used 1 Cure Light Wound strategically during the surgery.
I used 1 Cure Light Wounds? Okay, well,
Yep.
let's make sure he does not die.
You use that to basically pinch off the artery. You clamp the artery, and then you healed it shut.
Okay, so Cure Serious Wounds are my go-to right now. 3d8 plus... I haven't leveled, right?
Foxfire's like, well, it's time we got rid of Radimer. He's had a good run. Time to find a replacement.
57 healing. There you go. That's 3 spells.
Wow.
That's a pretty good roll.
And then your level overnight, so 62.
And that was just here. Give you 2 more, or I could give you another 4.
So he's got like 10 damage.
Okay, so 2d8 plus 5. There you go.
Okay, Sam, you're sitting there. It's a weird feeling. You can kind of feel your fingers still, even though your hand isn't there.
Arlen is actually talking. Look, Sam, do you understand? He thinks he's in shock, or he's looking him over, looking in his eyes and all that. Sam, do you know what happened? Are you aware of what happened in the fight?
Take it, I lost.
Yeah, listen, yes, you did lose. You got injured, and unfortunately you lost a limb, your left arm. I apologize.
My eyes are still working.
Yes, everything else, I've checked you over, everything else looks fine. The only thing, the beast took your arm. Now, it takes some time to process this. I've seen you fight. This is not going to hinder you that much. I'm sorry for your loss, but these things happen. You might feel your fingers. You might feel like I feel my hand again, but it's not there. It's not real. It's gone. All right. These feelings might come once in a while, but they'll subside after you've gotten used to it. It'll be still some pain.
Did you get my ring back?
Did you lose a ring?
My ring was on my left hand.
This was the Ring of Protection +2 you borrowed from somebody?
The Minotaur was parading it around as a trophy, so I don't.
So I had a ring of protection plus. So I guess
I don't know which hand. I guessed left. I just said left. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, no, left is where I had my ring. So, yeah.
I guessed left. I don't know if there was one. I don't remember what was. I assume you're righty. I don't know.
Unfortunately, the Minotaur, I think, took it as a trophy.
What a dick.
Well, considering, I think he's still in shock. He's still considering his ring. So when we're more powerful and we have more influence, I believe there's some spells that druids can use to bring back your arm, and also my legs. But until then, it's going to hunker down and move forward. You're a strong man, and you'll be able to.
Question. Can I get a hook?
He's still in shock. I think he's thinking this is the game, guys. He's not really paying attention. Your hand is missing, Sam.
Yeah, but we just need
We
to
can
the
get
magic.
you a hook.
We're already getting the magic for your legs. We just need to use it again on my hand.
We'll get you a hook, Sam. It'll be fine. We'll get you a hook, a beautiful hook. You'll have Sam written on the side of it. It'll be great.
Mortenzi's
All right,
Mortenzi's looking at Ugg like
What?
That's why we always kick the Minotaur.
Then he eyes the little arm and he goes, "You're being selfish, Ugg."
Gets up and goes outside for some air. It looked like he wanted to throttle Mortenzi. Mortenzi's been doing this same joke almost every single day. different words, still making fun of his third arm that's coming out of his chest. Oh, just kind of puffed up. He ground his teeth a little bit. It was at first it was hard to determine whether he was smiling or not, but no, he was grimacing with his big teeth showing. He just wanders outside, shaking his head, grumbling under his breath. Roger passes him as he's going in. He kind of like bumped into his shoulders. Like, what the fuck's with him? He sits down.
Hey, Roger, can you lend me a hand? Eh?
That's a good one.
I don't know. Maybe he's just insane.
He throws you a crude gesture with his hand. How's that work?
It's we'll get some magic, and I'll get a hook. And when I come back, I'm going to kick his ass so hard he was going to wish, oh, I'm going to get my head back. Yeah.
You catch Paul looking at you. He's cleaning a glass. He's just looking at you and shaking his head and smiling to himself.
I wonder how
It's
hard
going to
it
be
is to punch somebody
fine.
in the face with a
It's
straw.
going to be fine. All right, Sam? Not a worry. We took care of you. You'll get used to it.
What is there to get used to? I
Doesn't
wasn't
change at
used to
all.
having it in the first place.
Unwin comes over. Master Radimer has a job for some of you to escort the Countess. She has to meet someone, I think.
Oh, Mortenzi will go. She gives him cookies.
You notice him glancing at Arlen, and he kind of nervously smiles at Sam. There's like this little bit of pity in his eyes.
Give me a minute. Guys, just hang out with Sam and have a couple of drinks. Let me see what Radimer wants. All right?
Oh, okay. Should I come with you, or should I stay here with Sam?
No, come along with me. It's fine.
All right. It looked like he wanted to hang out with Sam, like he's feeling sorry for Sam. Arlen wheels his way through the inn, through the tavern. It's not very busy early in the morning. There are some patrons in here that I didn't create tokens for that are here for the pies, because Karnuk, the baker, makes great pies. And what do you call them? Like quiche. The egg things, the rising egg kind of cakey things.
Quiche.
Yeah, quiche.
That's good stuff right there.
It's quiche and this weird sweet and spicy kind of like relish that goes on the quiche. All right, Ratimer's sitting there. He notices Mortenzi approaches. Good fight the other night. I didn't get a chance to congratulate you, Mortenzi. It was very brave of you to go in against this Shadowkin.
Thank you.
He glances over at Arlen.
Yeah, indeed, it was a good fight. Good work, Maltenzi. I'm sorry I wasn't able to support you with my spells. As you saw, there was an emergency we had to seek to.
How is Sam
But
feeling?
Sam is fine.
Says the Countess.
Sam is fine. His body has been stabilized, and his mind seems to be fully recovered. I don't believe he's in any kind of shock. And he's in his jolly state. I believe Sam's personality has won over this.
I'm not an expert at gladiatorial games, but is Sam going to be able to continue fighting in the arena? It would be a shame after going through so much effort to bring him back from the afterlife, only to see him have to retire now.
Yes, actually, Sam's style allows him to fight with his with any of his. He's some sort of fighter that uses his fists or elbows.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, he's kind of asked for a hook. We could probably get him something a little better than a hook to strap on, kind of some sort of thing to connect on there to wall up the other guys.
Yes, I also understand that he has to have some tattoos moved around from his old flesh to his new, she says, matter-of-factly. Ratimer nods to this.
We had, when we had bested Hydra, we were gifted with specific tattoos, and Sam was involved in that fight and, by his right, has that tattoo.
The tattoo artists of Fallenstone are cruel butchers compared to some of the artists in Vatapol. I am sure you'll be able to find someone there. I believe there is an elf that does wondrous work.
Excellent. Excellent to hear.
As for the hook,
I believe there's also some...
soldiers lose limbs all the time, as I understand. It's sort of the same game you're playing, just in a different arena. I would not know, but I suspect. Perhaps Sam could find something here, Ratimer. You notice Ratimer kind of like shift a little bit, like he's a little bit annoyed at having to spend money, perhaps? We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
yes.
Maybe this will buy him something. He drops a bloodstone on the table.
Okay. It rolls around a little bit. Ratimer just eyes it. He doesn't reach out and touch it.
Which is nowhere near so restrained. He's going to, appraise it?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Arlen's gonna actually see if Arlen has that skill. Let's see. No, I don't. I should. Why the hell
You're
don't
very
I?
liberal with your gladiators. I don't see
Well-
anything wrong with them holding on to a bit of coin to get the
Countess.
little things that they want. And he looks at Mortenzi with this sort of like glare, as he knows that this is not money that he gave to Mortenzi.
Countess, Master Bradamir has been very fair with us, providing us with lots of training and items, as you see. He's...
I'm not blind, dearie. I might be old, but my eyesight is still rather good. And she touches her nose. Bradimir's still looking at the money. That's the gem that's on the table.
Widget. What's the value of that? He whispers, what's the value of that thing?
I got a 9 on my appraise. Yeah.
Between a
Richard,
50
what
and
is
a
that
100.
stupid
What
look
are
on
they?
your face?
25 or 100 or 50 gold piece, Mark?
They're 50 each.
Yeah, you're guessing anywhere between 29. They're worth 100 gold each.
100, something like that. A lot.
Um,
You could buy.
That's-
You can buy the man like 5 hook hands for this.
Interesting.
Pieces each.
Then Ugg would be jealous.
he's getting testy with that. You should probably control your jokes. Ug's not the man to piss off.
Anyone should be pissed off. It's the baby inside him.
Before we leave, I have an errand to run. I've been waiting for an old friend of my dear late husband's to arrive back in town away from business. I have something to discuss with him. I would very much like some of you to accompany me, she says, and she glances at Arlen specifically.
Yes, madam. Is there anything that we should be aware of that perhaps may require Ugg or any?
Two or three of you will suffice. Someone to help you move around, she says.
Understood.
I'm certainly not pushing you through the muck.
Oh no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't dare suggest such a thing. We'll be prepared. When you expect your acquaintance to arrive at any moment?
No, we have to go find him. He's an old legionnaire, a part of the Imperial Expeditionary Force.
Give me a sec. Knowledge.
Nobility,
History. Knowledge history. $11.
They are. I'm trying to go analog. If I said, like, the Army or the Navy, the U.S. Army or the U.S. Marines, and you had basic information, I guess you could tell. Yeah, okay. All right, so the Imperial Expeditionary Force, or the Legionnaires of that particular military group, are the ones they send into places first. They're the ones that explore. They're like an exploring,
Scouts.
conquering army. They're the ones that are specialized or have enough specialists in their group to deal with the unknown. It's like almost like a borderline
He's an old adventurer.
an adventuring army, basically. Yeah.
Yep.
They'd be the Rangers.
Yeah.
Madam, would you mind if the gentleman that you are meeting, does he have any arcane abilities or?
I don't know. He's an old childhood friend, and
I see.
not of mine, she says, of my late husband's, the Count's. They grew up together in the same region. The Count may have had dealings with him during his adventuring days. I simply know him from some of the stories. I know that they may have shared the same passion for ancient relics.
Understood.
These demis aren't bothering you, ma'am? He's wiping up the table. No, that is all right, Paul. We're having a pleasant conversation. Well, just let me know if they are. I can corner off this section of the tavern. You know, I can put up the rope. It's all right, Paul. They are servants of Radima's, and Radima is a friend of mine. Well, all right.
Does Paul have a particular tell when he's cleaning? Is there something that he's particularly proud of?
He seems to think that you've seen him boss around the goblins when they're not cleaning the way he likes it, and he actually does like some of the cleaning himself to try to show the goblins, but also to show how much better he is at it than the goblins are. It's just, but there's also wrapped up in this weird sense of pride for his building and business. he's hard to read because he's hard to read the undersurface because he's so like he lets everything kind of come out.
Our Inquisitor is no longer here, so the time to play pranks on Paul is nigh.
You know she's staying here. She hasn't. Let's see. Did you notice? Give me a perception check when you got up in the morning. This is for Widget because he's actually interacted with the Inquisitor.
9 is the number of the day.
You're just not sure. You don't see her this morning. You just weren't keeping track of where she was staying.
All right. So Widget's plan, his imagination, when he has the chance, is to cast an illusion spell on an area and make it dirty. And then when the goblins are cleaning it, have it not clean right. And then when he tries to clean it, make it even worse. And then just to fuck with them. Just to fuck with them with the dirty spots.
Just a permanent illusion. Oh, damn spot! Ouch!
All right. So is it like on a table or like a patch of ground or?
It would be a table or it'd be whatever he seems to like to clean personally.
Okay.
It just if the opportunity's there, just a little bit addicted with Paul.
All right, so it's the after breakfast rush, and you can see a lot of goblins are now cleaning off tables. Some of them are clearing the cutlery and the plates, while others are wiping things down. Paul has wandered over to inspect the kitchen and comes back out, and he's glaring at the goblins as they're. He might be watching them to see if they're eating off the plates, which he doesn't like.
This would be kind of a good opportune time somewhere in here when he's not quite paying attention.
All right. He hears some noise or something that he doesn't like back down in the kitchen, and he disappears back into Karnuk, the baker's domain.
So can we cast an image?
Is this a silent image? Is that what's...
No, we're going to use the... it would be the silent.
Prestidigitation can do that.
No,
make something dirty or clean.
Yeah, silent image would be the right. No, minor image is the one I'm using.
Okay, you notice the goblins having a hard time cleaning the table. Let's see what their will saves are. Oh, look at that, -1.
It's not bode well for the goblins.
12 is the highest.
The DC is 20.
There's one goblin that they look panicked at this point. They look like they're gonna get into trouble. One of them pushes the other one to try to help out, and they end up dropping a pewter mug. What was that? What the fuck was that noise? Oh, it's gonna come out of your hides, I tell you. Excuse me, ma'am. You can't find good help around here. He goes over and he's gonna swat at them, and they're all one of them's like cowering in front of him, while the others are collecting up the bit of pottery. Look at this table. Look at this table. Why do I even pay you? Why do I even pay you? He's trying not to be loud and disturb the Countess's meal, but at the same time, get all of you. Get all of you into the basement. We're gonna have a goblin meeting. What is this disgusting mess? He for a moment takes out like a rag and kind of puts it over the mess, and then like looks around and goes running to some other area. He doesn't hire them; they're his slaves. He comes back with like a bucket and like a sponge and some rags, and is trying to do this so that you guys don't see the disgusting mess. Like I'm pretty sure it's this putrid, like greasy.
It's a gross, nasty, greasy mess.
All right, he's now interacting with the illusion, so he does get a will save. I'm not going to include his bonus. What's the DC?
20.
Oh, he doesn't have a +8. All right, so
when he interacts with it, as in when he's wiping it, I want it to slowly start changing into the face of Paul. Like every time you wipe, it gets a little bit more looking like Paul.
Where's it? Fucking slime.
Just made out of slimy, gross, nasty stuff.
This better not be a slime, you hear him saying. I thought I got rid of that. he's starting to panic. What's he's looking around, he turns around, he smiles at the Countess who's finishing up her quiche.
What is that smell?
He puts down the rags over top of it. He's now leaning on it, looking around.
The minor image can make sound, so it's going to go.
All right, give me a bluff check.
Wilbur's trying not to laugh. Uh-oh, charisma drain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got hit with that too.
He looks down at you.
Okay, Wilbur's giggling.
He looks down at you. His face is turning red. Fucking dummies. You think that's funny, huh? You think that's funny. He takes a peek at it again. That better not be permanent. he goes stalking off in a huff.
I'll dismiss the spell or stop concentrating on the spell. It'll last for another few rounds.
There's one more thing before we leave to meet this childhood friend of the Count's. We have to decide what we're going to do with our guide. He's been locked up in that cage with those filthy dwarves for quite some time.
Well, I think he's learned his lesson. We can hand him over to the authorities, or perhaps turn him into a gladiator. But to be honest, I only worry about him causing us trouble out of vengeance. That's why I'd rather keep him in the cage until we get to Vatapor, and then he's free to do what he will. He'd have less influence in the city, and he'd be more dangerous out on our trip right now. That's my advice.
Not if we break his legs.
And that's why you're not a doctor.
Perhaps the threat of breaking his legs, if he ever bothers anyone on the roads again and speaks of any ill will against the Circus of Dread.
Yes, yes.
Truly.
No, the Countess. Yes.
Break his legs and slice his belly and drop him in a sewer so the rats can eat him. Yes.
Mackenzie, maybe you want to, come this way for a bit.
Alan, perhaps
Thank you.
perhaps you could help make sure that he understands.
Yes. We'll make sure the message gets across.
Hortense likes what you did with the illusion and climbs up on this table and starts wiping his boots all over the table. And spitting on the table.
Hey, Winch is going to just come back.
Paul's got
we're leaving after this errand, right?
Paul and Zatha have like a tray each as they're going back. Paul just stops and he's staring at Mortenzi. His face growing red with rage. He's actually shaking a little bit, so all the trays and dishes and glasses on his big tray are just shaking.
Do you like jigs?
Tansy, it's enough.
He smiles at you, but you could tell by the wild look in his eyes that he would like to throttle you. There's nothing more that he'd like to do at this point. Frickin' demi-humans. Don't know why they don't just don't put them down. Make a lot more room for the rest of us.
Freaking Paul.
Alright. You've successfully enraged your innkeeper.
He's gonna spit in my food now.
If you're lucky.
Yes, until he will be the death of the party.
I've eaten worse.
Oh, Mortenzi, you'll be the death of the party yet.
Let me
If ever
know
there'd
when
be
you
someone
have.
responsible for TPK, it'd be him.
Let me know when you have spoken to Valen, and then we'll be off. That's what she says.
Maybe I should hug him first.
And Ugging. Uggins.
What's that?
Oh, the Ugg should hug him. The Uggins. So, Alan, need a
What
push
is
out
it?
to the card.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. Oh, sorry, that would be appreciated. I went Irish there for a second.
Let's go for a wheel.
Do you have magic that makes you scary, Arlen?
Nope. I've got
Are you
3
gonna put
wolves.
Are you gonna
Where
put spikes on
the-
your tires? He's in the back.
Oh, there he is.
Where's the back wagon?
He's over here.
I dragged it way off to the.
Oh, I did.
Lieutenant Nevron is over on the right. In a barn-like building.
Yeah, you guys stuck them in a barn. I guess they're locked. They're locked up in the wagon inside the barn.
Yeah.
Let's drag the others off. Who is going to go see him? Ugg? Oh no, Ugg's standing outside getting some air.
Right now there's Arlen and Widget over there.
Okay. Oh, I'm seeing Mortenzi only. Where's Arlen and Widget?
With Lieutenant Nevron. On the right. Or the left, sorry. Not the right, the left.
No, Lieutenant
The other
Nevron is the guy that.
Oh, is it the wrong? I got the wrong guy. Oh, I got the wrong guy.
You got the wrong guy, yeah.
Oh, my apologies.
That was the guy that Mortenzi had lured out of the barracks into
Oh,
the
that's
hands
one
of the
that he got
into the
cloned.
bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Can we see the new Lieutenant Nevron?
Oh, he looks the same.
You have not, for whatever Mortenzi did to earn his
No.
money, has not come back to haunt the party yet, or to haunt the conclave, not the conclave, the circus yet. All right, Arlen wheels himself. Widget and Mortenzi walk up to the walk into the barn. You can see a miserable-looking Valen of the Vastwood. His clothes are looking really, really dirty. He's disheveled. He's just kind of like slowly banging his head against the bars. The dwarves are enjoying a meal. It looks like Valen eats last in this arrangement.
Mortenzi pulls out a knife, looks at him, and says, "It's time."
Not yet. Not yet.
Valen looks up at you.
Arlen gives them more water, like fresh water.
Okay. There's kind of a trough or a bucket that you pour water into. The dwarves all sort of push Valen out of the way so they can kind of kneel down in front of the bucket and start scooping it up with their hands.
He'll hose Valen down.
Oh, that seems to wake him up a little bit. Yes,
Prestidigitate him.
yes, these damp clothes will smell better, is what he says. He smells disgusting.
No, he prestidigitates him and you can make him smell like.
Okay, so for a few
Roses.
brief seconds, he smells like roses before returning to the funk that he is.
Crap. Right. We believe you've learned your lesson. Are we correct in this assumption?
Lesson learned. Yes, don't cross the the Countess.
And don't cross the circus.
The what? Sorry?
Us.
Oh, yes, gladiators. Don't never cross gladiators.
I think he's
He doesn't
broken.
understand. He doesn't let me make him understand.
Why don't you use that knife to make him understand, Mortenzi?
Oh, okay. Come here, Valen.
No, no. He's trying to struggle away.
He looks. Oh, look. He seems to understand now.
If you cause any trouble, the Countess said, I can break your legs, slice your belly, and drop you in a sewer so the rats can feast upon you while you live.
And that's not figurative either. That's quite literal. He's picked a specific sewer for this. So I suggest you, once we let you go, you move your arse the hell away from us in the opposite direction. East. I think east would be a good direction.
Oh, yes, east. To return to Vihead.
Return to wherever the hell you came from. We don't really care. If we do see you again, it would be legless, bellyless, and, well, sliced belly, whichever Mortenzi takes to, and in a hole of his picking. All right?
Okay.
There's no need for a bluff check. Arlen's actually telling him this probably was going to happen, so...
All right, let's see how well the delivery went. You could give me an intimidate check at with a +2, and then
It's not really diplomacy, I'll call it that much.
and then Mortenzi can either lead or aid. You both. He did start neutral good, Quinta. He felt in neutral when he abandoned his god for power.
Yeah!
When he abandoned his good god for the power of a glittery dragon.
Fuck yeah. How could you say no to
He
that?
saw something shiny and went, face me. Alright, twitch you. He is a size larger, so I take a -4.
Well, this guy was going to probably have us killed.
Yeah, I got a 9.
So Arlen's like, you're lucky you're still alive. But he is giving him water and cleaning him and
Unless I got a
helping him out.
+2 from something, like, because he's caged. Or...
Oh, I'm doing intimidate?
Yep. So I don't help unless I get a bonus of some kind.
13.
Okay, he looks hopeful. There's a bit of hope that he's getting out of the cage. He's now standing up, and the water bath and then you guys threatening him with a knife seem to put some spark back into his eyes. I'm looking forward.
Sense his motives.
Sure.
Since I've just been observing the interactions.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sense motive on Arlen as well. He's
Yeah,
even
more
trying to do
good.
something
24.
stupid. 29 sense motive.
Nice!
No, he's very much looking forward to leaving,
Yep.
Good.
and he does not like the dwarves.
Good. Well, it's been a pleasure. Really, you were very kind and helpful in bringing us this far, but I think our paths must separate now, and you must find your way back home. So
Agreed.
good luck to you.
I like Foxfire's idea.
Good.
You don't even really have to. You take his thumb, and he's not a swordsman anymore.
It's not no dex sword.
I wish you good luck. And just a gentle reminder that if you see us again, it would not end well for you. All right?
Yes. Anything you say.
Mortenzi or Widget, could you please unlock the cage and ask him to, and allow him to leave?
Very well. Mortenzi pulls out his hammer just in case.
Okay, he looks unsure of Mackenzie. He looks to
Widget
Arlen.
will unlock the cage.
Okay, he slinks.
If you make no sudden movements, you will be safe.
He's slowly moving out of the cage, the furthest he can be from Mortenzi. He tries not to touch Arlen. Excuse me, is what he says as he wanders by Widget. And then he's now moving at a good clip, as much as his
Arlen
unstretched legs will-
Arlen will toss him some food, because this guy's probably going to try to take food from anybody, maybe kill someone. So Arlen will give him something so that he doesn't have to kill anyone initially.
Okay, so you toss some food on the ground. You notice that gets the dwarves excited. He is not coming back anywhere near you people to go get the food.
Okay, Arlen will... Widget, could you toss him the food to the dwarves, please?
Mortenzi just starts going.
See,
Valen of the Vast Wood makes his fair escape. He's running through the foreigner's ward, looking back to make sure that nothing's going to happen.
we should really let the dwarves exercise. I feel horrible for them.
They do like push-ups and sit-ups, and they stand on each other while doing it. You've watched them.
Do they bathe at all, or...
No, they're pretty rank.
I don't have comprehend language. Next time I'll prepare comprehend languages and speak with them. Or
When you guys
I don't
took
have
over
that.
the slave caravan, you did have a lot of flea powder, though. So you know that Mortenzi and Roger and Barrack occasionally come out here and delouse them.
Just delouse them.
Mortenzi also takes the opportunity to preach to them about the glories of Zorbinius while he's doing it.
Okay.
Arlen will channel.
These three dwarves actually sit and listen to your stories, almost like children listening to a fairy tale.
They
Okay,
can
well then he does it
understand you, right?
daily if they actually pay attention to him.
What language do you preach at them in?
He knows Dwarven, I think, but
They don't.
Hang on a sec. He doesn't know that.
Language do these assholes
I
know?
think he knows Dwarven. No, he doesn't know Dwarven. He knows. He'll do it in Abyssal.
Okay. they might just like the way it sounds or something, but they find Mortenzi fascinating. He used to be in the cage with
Yeah.
them, so
I'm sure Barrack Tarn enjoys those little.
yeah, you probably don't do the stories around Barrack Tarn, or would be probably rolling initiative. At least not in that language.
Black Punchy.
One thing that Mortenzi does realize, and this is a private thing that he may or may not share, is that when you say Zorbinius along with a bunch of abyssal words, it feels like the word Zorbinius has more power. It feels natural to say the word Zorbinius while speaking in that language.
Okay, good to know. Might have some cleric levels coming up. Who knows? Or oracle levels. Not.
Uh-oh. All right. What have we done? All right. So the dwarves, Arlen and Widget do notice that the dwarves were looking at Mortenzi. Like, they seemed kind of interested in Mortenzi.
Okay. Good for them.
Yep.
Arlen, Morty, whenever I pass by them, I'm like in the evening, I'll draw a channel, because being in a cage is gonna just roughen you up a little bit, scratches, cuts, maybe, whatever.
Yep. They seem to look forward to whatever sort of repetitive attention you're giving them. They've been living in a cage.
Yeah. So,
It's all fascinating to them.
prestidigitate the cage, poor things.
All right, so Arlen decides that
Arlen doesn't feel, he feels bad for them, so he's gonna give them a bit of care. So, prestidigitation, give them a bath.
Are you doing that in lieu of escorting the Countess?
So, what
We'll do this
is
at
that
night. Or
story
something.
with the three morons? I mean, why?
The strong, says Ugg. Rodimer's not giving them training for some reason.
Well, right. So they're strong. Are they like true morons, or they've never been taught?
No, they're slave-born. Slave-born dwarves. They only know goblin, I think, says Ugg.
Well, why don't one of you knuckleheads teach them something? I'll learn goblin.
I have been teaching them much, and they sit in rapt attention when I tell them stories.
I've been working on my goblin, says Ugg. With the goblins.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Mortenzi actually stifled a joke. When he said, I've been working on my goblin, you saw him look at the arm.
Ugg is trying not to look at Mortenzi. But the arm did move, which made you chuckle.
If they have like little childlike minds and have never done anything, well, do you want them listening to this guy?
Yes.
That's not going to end well.
What do you mean?
You haven't noticed he's insane, and they're quite strong looking.
Yeah. I always thought that Rodimer was saving up some money to train him, but he's been too busy training us.
Well,
right. So
at
I
some
think
point the student becomes the master. If you know what I'm saying, you know.
I think. Well, we just got a very good point. Why do we have them around if we're not training them? Either if we don't need them, we don't need the cot.
Yes.
If we're not going to
Rodimer what to do with the dwarves now, aren't you?
Oh, it's just a suggestion to the master.
Well, we could suggest that maybe Sam and I can train them.
That's the second one. Yeah, Sam, you change. I mean, between the two of you, you got 4 arms. It's just like a normal fighter.
Huh. He glances down at Mortenzi to see if he's got anything to add.
Mortenzi's just looking at his feet like...
Rodimer bought them.
Well, then we should see if Rodimer wants the value raised on his property.
I don't know what he's got planned for them.
Sometimes it's better to beg for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Especially when you don't care.
You can train them. I think I'm trying to see if I have a spell for letting me speak to these guys. I don't know if I do.
Yeah, Ugg's been learning Goblin.
These guys speak Goblin?
Yep.
Yep.
Not Draconic, I assume.
No.
Damn.
And your highfalutin old ancient tongues. All right. So you can see the Countess seems to be ready. She's waiting by the door with her manservant, Sir Paldro.
So this is us heading to meet her. Find the what's his name? The friend of her deceased husband.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Widget and Mortenzi would be willing to join us.
You don't want bigger people? We can fight, but we don't scare anyone.
We could bring, well...
You certainly don't scare no one.
Alright, so Widget, Mortenzi does scare people. He does have a point. Perhaps Sam. It would be good for his spirits to bring him along.
Oh, I'm not supposed to put the levels in there. Sorry.
If the plan is to be scary, I can give it a go. He's got a +10 intimidate.
She has some hit points.
Is that including size bonus?
She's not a frail old lady.
No, there's no size mod in there. No.
No. Yeah, Mortenzi's got the same thing. Humans don't find it scary. They laugh at us, which is why we need to bash their heads in more often.